All right, I think we are live. Let me turn the. Awesome, it's coming through my speakers. All right, problem solved. Cool. Welcome. What up, Arson? Well, I don't know if you're still there, but I see you're first. Welcome, welcome. What up? What up? Okay, I think we are live. Let me make sure I mute myself so I don't hear myself. And I think that is it. Okay. Hello. I give it a few minutes for people to come in. But in the meantime, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. I gotta remember what I do in the beginning. Intro. After the stream goes live, probably by the following day. I'm gonna skip this song. I didn't realize they had vocals in F-Zero. I'll go for that one. Probably by tomorrow. Everything will be timestamped, so whatever subjects I talk about. What up to more Bashir? Not vocals? No, oh yeah, with the song. My bad. Welcome in. What up to more? What up, Arson? Welcome in. So yeah, by tomorrow, subjects will be timestamped. At least the major ones. Uptime 1 minute, or if even a minute and a half. I'm trying to think what else. Is there any other housekeeping shit that I need to do? Somebody remind me. I think that's about it. Yeah, subjects will be timestamped. So if there's a particular thing that's in like the video title that you're like, hey, I want to watch that thing. It'll be in the description. So keep an eye out for that. What else? Okay, I think that's about it. So how's everyone doing? Welcome in once again. Hope everybody's week has been good. Happy Friday. Happy end of the work week. Happy hurricane day or week. If you're in Florida, hope you're safe. And if you're getting hammered by that storm, hope you're safe and your house isn't extra wet. Okay, I wasn't ready for this. But yeah, so I hope everybody's been doing good. I haven't been too on top of the news this week. I've tried to stay on it a bit. However, from what I can tell that happened this week, we have a few things. At least I picked out things that are interesting. I know there's some like other shit that happened, but or probably some other things happened that I most definitely missed. But this is what we're gonna talk about. So, we are going to start off with. I'll probably just have this. I saw a stream, or a VOD of a stream where some dude was controlling the scene switching with an Xbox controller. And I need to figure out how to do that because I don't have a stream deck. I don't think I do this enough to warrant a purchase, really. But I do have Xbox controllers and a brain. Some would argue whether or not it functions properly, but that's a different story. Boom. EA is apparently making a Monster Hunter clone, except not really. This is they're just publishing it, so that's I'm going to do something about. I was banking on this music being a little more. My sleeping schedule's so bad. I was banking on this music to be a little more, banging. I'll go with that one. Cool. But yeah, apparently EA is making. Up to X pattern. Yeah, I gotta look it up. So yeah, apparently EA is making their own Monster Hunter clone, except once again, EA is not the one actually making it. They're publishing it, and that's it. It's a game called Wild Hearts. I don't know if anybody's seen the trailer for it, but it's like really Japanese in the sense that it's, I mean, you could probably see in that little GIF. It's got the, that feudal Japan aesthetic to it. And they definitely lean into it. Pardon, music is super low. Okay. Did that change anything? On at least in me seeing it in OBS, it did, but cool. Gotta love the ultra low latency, man. This shit is sick. Wild Hearts. So, I'll probably just like skip around it. Can I get the actual trailer? I'm not here to react. So let me get this up. So I'm just really gonna talk while the trailer plays. It's Monster Hunter, but Fire Speed? Is that the name of it? It's Monster Hunter, but feudal Japan. So it's nothing too crazy from what I saw. It looks flashy, but the thing is that the trailer, being a trailer, is really cinematic, and what little it shows in gameplay is not very reflective of the actual experience of when you'll be playing the game. Or if it is, then that means when you're playing the game, the camera angles are going to be really, really fucked, which obviously, you know, all jokes aside, probably not the case. Jose, welcome in, welcome in. Hi, welcome everyone. What is up? But yeah, I think the crazy thing is just that EA is having their hand on a Monster Hunter clone. But once again, they're not developing it, they're only publishing it. As you might have seen in the beginning of the... right here. Yeah, it's very selective angles. It's... you know, it's to make it look nice, which is cool, but I'm so sick of... well, wrong one. I'm to be honest, I'm kind of sick of all the times that, you know, do they say it's a gameplay trailer in the description? No, they just say it's an official reveal trailer. So I'll like, I'm not going to talk shit about that, but just the amount of times where there's like a gameplay trailer and it's actually not reflective of what the actual experience will be. Like, for example, in this, when they show gameplay, there's no HUD, but it doesn't say gameplay trailer, so I'm just being fair. It does show some kind of cool, you know, like tools and shit, that like stuff like that they're using to fight the monster. But more importantly, to talk about who's actually developing it, it's a development studio called Omega Force, which apparently are the people who do Dynasty Warriors, which I'm just gonna be that guy and go because at least for me, I think okay, all right, why can't I just get a straight up regular ass fucking thing of F-Zero music? You're killing me. Let's go Big Blue. Cool. Listen to that for like 5 minutes. It's... I'm not a big fan of Dynasty Warriors, just like the super repetitive, you know, kill a million dudes type gameplay isn't necessarily my cup of tea, but, you know, it's a thing. I mean, it's a thing a lot of people must like it because they've been going on for so long, so that's really the thing. Dynasty Warriors is truly a game of the year. It is one of the games of the years, some would even say. It's been one of the series, the franchises of all time, some would say, once again. Now, granted, apparently they've had... So Koei Tecmo has put out... they put out a game in the past called... And I'm going to probably butcher the name of this. Tukiden? Tukiden, something like that? Tokiden? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that. If we look that up. I've seen gameplay of it. It's apparently a Monster Hunter type game, but if I remember correctly, it's the gameplay is a little like sketch or something. Yeah, no, it was like a PSP game or a Vita game or some shit. Yeah, it was another Monster Hunter type game. So they have experience in this. I don't know if it was developed by the same people. But it was, you know, this isn't necessarily their first foray into Monster Hunter type games. So, you know, for all we know, this will probably be... I'm leaning towards this game will probably be perfectly fine. Suikoden? No, that's a different one. That was like the SUI Koden. This one is like TOUKIDEN, something like that. Yeah. So, train of thought. I'm leaning towards it's probably gonna be fine. But, you know, it's gonna be I imagine it's gonna be one of those, like, good B-tier games or some shit like that. You get what I mean? You know those games that come out that, like, aren't the fucking next big thing, but they're really, really fun. Tokiden? Okay. Alright, cool. Never pre-order. I don't pre-order shit. I don't pre-order fucking anything, so I could give, yeah, like, you know. I mean, if you're big into Monster Hunter games, still don't pre-order it because you can just download it when it comes out and it makes no difference. So, as a headline implies, and I think the reason why everybody's really talking about this is that EA has their hands on it. And once again, if I go to the trailer, you'll see that it's under the EA Originals banner. So for those who don't know, EA has their own little, there's EA, the monster that we know, and then there's EA Originals, which is under the monster that we know. For what I could tell, from what I've seen in their history, EA Originals is kind of the banner where they, like, hey, we publish games under this, and then we just leave it the fuck alone. At least from what I could see. That's usually been the case for the EA Originals games. So if we look at the past releases for the EA Originals, it's been games like, these are not all of them, but a good majority of them. You have games like Unravel, which was that Yarn 2D platformer thing, if I remember correctly. A Way Out, which was the co-op game where you play as two dudes breaking out of prison. It Takes Two, which was like last year's, darling, and Lost in Random, which is, I played it for a little bit. I need to play more because it's pretty good. The aesthetic's really nice. Some sort of like, Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas-esque platformer. It's pretty much every game that if you found out that EA published this, you would be shocked. Because it has none of the typical EA-isms that you're used to seeing, like a shit ton of microtransactions, your, typical AAA stylings, whether it be open world shit or live service, this, they could, yeah, pretty much. It's, from what I can gather, the EA Originals is, hey, we give you the money to make the game. They're definitely not giving us much money as they do to, like, I'm sure that they give to, they're like big, like your Battlefields or your FIFAs and that kind of shit. But they give the money, make the game, it comes out, and for the most part, if you look at all the games they put out under that EA Originals banner, it's a pretty good track record. So, probably will be fine. I imagine probably will be fine. But always keep your expectations tempered. Excuse me. And this kind of goes back to that thing I was saying before, like in some live streams before, and I think my Q&A video, where obviously there's always the whole difference between indie and AAA, but all the big AAA studios, most of them, and I'm not just say all because that's a very, all it takes is for one thing to be wrong, and now all is incorrect. But probably most AAA studios do put out games that are actually not bullshit every now and then, and it's, as much as people may be shocked to fucking hear that, but these are also, I imagine these are the games that people really don't hear about most. Like, I think the first big EA Originals game that people really just talked about at length was It Takes Two, and that's because it won Game of the Year at the fucking award thingies. So there's that. Let me think. Oh, so what I'm thinking about is like Monster Hunter type games. How many other Monster Hunter type games are there? It's not a very popular, not popular, but like it's not a very common thing. The only ones that could come to mind were the Tokiden, right? Yeah, there's that one. God Eater, I think, which is like anime Monster Hunter, and then Dauntless, which is like that free-to-play one that Epic put out. But otherwise, there really haven't been too many Monster Hunter clones. Okay, I don't think that. Maybe. Evolve is not what comes to mind when I think of yeah, you're hunting a monster, but it's not Monster Hunter. If you get what I mean. I mean, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Boy, it's been a while since that one came out, right? Like 2015. Is Evolve even still going on? Like, I know they shut it down and like it came back, then shut down, then came back or some shit. Is this still a thing? Oh, no. Nope, RIP. Yep. And now everybody... Oh, hey, this still exists. How the fuck are people still reviewing this? What the fuck? Yeah, so did I. Okay. Yeah, so did I remember buying, like, I mean, how could you not be excited for Evolve? This is why you don't buy games sight unseen, man. We all learned the hard way. This fucking Evolve was made by the Left 4 Dead people, and you're like, yo, it's the Left 4 Dead guys making another. I want to say yet another because that's usually has a negative connotation with it. Making another fucking asymmetrical multiplayer game, which I don't give a fuck who you are. The best part of Left 4 Dead was the versus mode. It's just full stop. There's just a non-debatable. So they're making a game that's more focused around that. You're like, fuck yeah, and then you play it and you go, wow, this actually, like, it's not the worst. It wasn't the worst. I'm not gonna say that was like the worst game ever. It fucking wasn't. But you were more often than not having fun rather than having fun. Like all the times you would just spend walking, like the matches would go one of two ways, either, and it was pretty much dependent on the monster. If the monster was brain dead, you would find them within the first 5 minutes and slaughter them, or if they knew how to play the game, then the monster would you know, get to stage 3, you'd be running around in circles for 10 to 15 minutes and then just get killed, and it was not fun. That was like the vast majority of matches boiled down to that, as opposed to, I felt like the verses in Left 4 Dead had, you know, had a lot of back and forth going on. So there, you know, it was more dynamic as opposed to Evolve, which always boiled down to the same thing. That shit was not fun. That was not fun. But when it was fun, you know, when you'd have those moments, when you would have those moments where you're going back and forth, you find the monster, they get away, you find the monster, they get away, like that kind of shit, it had its moments where it was good. Unfortunately, that wasn't very common. A 5.3 out of 10.69. You mean a 5.420, right? That's, I agree, though. I wouldn't... Yeah, I'd probably be harsh on it. I mean, I don't... You know... I don't really do reviews like that on this channel, but if I were, I still wouldn't give it scores. So, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely... I assume they learned lessons from that game, because in Back 4 Blood, the fucking versus mode is an afterthought. So, I'm sure they were like, yeah, maybe we should just focus on making the PvE experience better. Which then Back 4 Blood has its own troubles. But I like it. So, there's that. Alright, moving on. So... this next one is a big one. It's something that people definitely are noticing hit their wallets, which is the era of $70 games truly begins this fall. I can recommend a six. Yeah. I think, you know, games in that middle of the road. So it's kind of funny that with gaming and movies are really different in terms of how we rate them and how we determine what's good or what's bad. Because in a movie, if you see a movie has like a 60% in Rotten Tomatoes, you're like, hey, that's pretty good. Not bad. And then if you see like a 70 or 80% in Rotten Tomatoes, you're still like, oh, hey, that's pretty good. And like Tales from the Hood 2, the movie that we saw. God damn it, phone, shut up. Tales from the Hood 2, the movie that we saw, was like at 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, oh, yo, that's pretty good. And we see something on Rotten Tomatoes that has like a 90-something percent. You're like, oh shit, that's like fucking good. With gaming, if you see something that has like a 6 or a 7, you're like, nah, whatever. You know, it's shit. Damn, it's a flop. They failed. And then when you see something that's 8, you're like, oh, it's pretty good. Then we see something that's 9, it's then you start talking about it being like a fucking great game, when, you know, a lot of those 6 and 7 games are actually not bad. Like they're pretty fun. It's just, you know, there's something they usually drop the ball on. But then again, I think it's how a lot of the like bigger, you know, like this, well, Kotaku doesn't do the scoring system, but, you know, some like the bigger gaming publications have kind of, you know, that like there's the classic joke that IGN gives everything at least a 7 at the lowest. Yeah, but I mean, it's all relative, right? Like it shouldn't. It's all relative. Like, you know, the amount of time that goes into the hobby, or the, you know, the media. It yeah, you know, like for example, if I'm just curious, but I'll definitely go to. Yeah, the grading scale is skewed. That's why, like, I'll like if I watch Angry Joe or something. While I don't agree with a lot of his opinions, when he rates a game like a 6, he goes like, yo, it's pretty good. Like, it's good. It's not bad. Like, it's, you know, it's good, at least on his little scale. So as opposed to when he gives it, you know, when he gives it an 8, it's like really good, or he really liked it. At least he really liked it. Like if I look at if I go check Assassin's Creed, my favorite punching bag, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Odyssey. Okay, cool. Let's go for Metacritic. Top 1. 83%. Games Radar gave this a perfect rating. Now, I'm just saying, if we're going based on time, I don't give a fuck who you are. The vast majority of the time spent playing this game is not great. But somehow it can get a perfect rating from a major publication and have an 83, which in the eyes of gaming is pretty fucking good. Yet it's like 60 to 70 hours long. It's a 15-hour game that's stretched for 60 to 70 hours. Once again, I know my favorite punching bag. I talk about it like what almost feels like every stream. If time was the concern, that wouldn't be the truth, but it is. So it's all, you know, it's all relative, but I digress. $70 games are becoming more and more of a thing. So I once again, speaking of punching bags, Kotaku with the article with the headlines that got to get people's attention. You know, you do what you got to do to feed the beast. I respect that. Now, essentially, the gist of this article is just that more and more games coming out are $70. So, you know, $70 games are definitely here to stay. I think we all figured it was an inevitability, right? You know, it's just going to be a thing. We've been living with $60 games for 10 years, right? Oh no, 14 or 15 years. Pretty much since the 360 came out, I think. So I think we all figured it was an inevitability, but when I see a headline like this, I think like, is it really the case that more games are coming out that are $60 from different companies? Or is it just the same companies that have always been charging $70 that are, that are putting out more games? So I broke it down into a list. The list that this article uses for upcoming games that are going to be $70. Starting from the top, Gotham Knights, published by WB, is actually going to be their first $70 game. At least from what research I did, this is going to be their first $70 game. So that's one publisher adding on to the, the $70 train. Next, Modern Warfare 2, Activision. They've done this since the moment that the PS5 and Xbox, Xbox came out. They were charging $70 for games. That's nothing new. God of War Ragnarok, The moment next gen hit, moment PS5 came out, charging $70 for their first party games. That's nothing new. Callisto Protocol. This one's weird because it's published by a company called Krafton, which I never heard of until I was doing the research for this little bit. It's a Korean publisher. Pretty much everything they've released before this point has been some free-to-play stuff. You know, like mobile or MMO, that kind of shit. This is their first AAA game, or from what I can gather, this is their first like big AAA game, at least big over here, big in the West. So from what I can gather, this is like a 50-50. Yes, they're charging $70 for a game. I don't know if they have the intention or the intent to start making a shit ton of games, but considering this is like a one-off, I don't know if this is going to be something we'll be seeing frequently happen from them, as opposed to companies like WB, which puts out games every year. Activision, same thing. Sony, same thing. Now for this list over here, so future games, Forspoken, the dumbest fucking name ever. Being published by Square. Not only have they not only is that not their first $70 game, I didn't even have to do research for that, because I remember that the moment when what's this game? The Final Fantasy VII Remake came to PC, launched on the Epic Game Store. I think it's still there, I don't know. Launched on the Epic Game Store, $70 on PC for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Not even a console game. Well, sorry, not even on console in this case. So I know Square, that ain't their first fucking time doing this, so that's nothing new. Forspoken. I think the name is really, really dumb. Looks kind of cool though. The gameplay was flashy, but it looked cool. The only thing I saw in that gameplay reveal that they did was that the character was walking through a town, and the town had like 3 NPCs in it walking around, but it was like super huge and empty. I'm like, oh shit, I hope they fix that, because that looked fucking rough. But when they got in combat, it was pretty cool, and the traversal looked pretty cool. Dead Island 2. Somehow I didn't know that Deep Silver until I was doing this. I know that Deep Silver had owned both Dying Light and Dead Island, which is kind of funny considering that the Dying Light people made Dead Island, then broke off from their previous publisher to make Dying Light, and now somehow they're all under the same banner again. So yeah, I don't think it's not the same people, as far as I know. It's not the same people who are like developing it. Just, you know, food for thought, I guess. Dead Island 2, Deep Silver, first game. First game from Deep Silver that's going to be $70. So that's another one. I'm kind of half not counting Krafton, but because they're not normal, or they're not regularly publishing games in this space, so as time goes on that changes, then I guess I'll be eating my words. So we got 2 publishers that are adding that are starting to charge $70 for their games where they weren't before. Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't know that this game was being developed by Avalanche. For those who don't know, those are the people who did Just Cause, and like, I don't really care for Harry Potter, like, at all, but to me, that means that there's a possibility that the Hogwarts game is going to be filled with a shit ton of repetitive stuff, unless they changed, because I think the last game they developed was Rage 2, and Rage 2 had really good shooting and really repetitive shit. Like, everything else was repetitive as fuck. I beat the game, and I think I 100%ed it, or came close to doing it. I beat the game. It was just the kind of game where, you know, you come home from a long day of work and then just shut your brain off and, like, yeah, just start doing mindless tasks. I haven't seen anything about the Harry Potter game. It's looking good-ish. Good-ish. That's how I would describe their games. They're good-ish. If you're looking for, like, brainless, open world busy work shit to do, but where the gameplay's pretty fun, they're good at that. However, when it comes to making some sort of like deep engrossing experience, not so much. And keep in mind that I've pretty much played most, if not all, their games. Like I played I played Just Cause 1, like a demo for it, but otherwise I played and beat Just Cause 2, Just Cause 3, Mad Max, in the middle of playing through Just Cause 4, and I beat and played Rage 2. So I've enjoyed their stuff, but every single time they put out a game, it's always the same conversation about it being repetitive open world stuff. So when I see that they're doing this game, I haven't looked at anything about it, so I could be 100% wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But to me, that means that it might be the same shit. Just saying. Anywho, another WB game, since Gotham Knights is coming out before that, that's not going to be their first $70 game. Wild Hearts, which is going to be an EA Originals game, which we all know. Technically, I don't think they charged $70 for an EA Originals before, but it's EA, so they were right there with fucking Activision and Take-Two or 2K, whoever the fuck, when they were charging $70 a month the PS5 and this Xbox came out. So that's nothing new. And lastly, Skull and Bones. Actually, not lastly. I'm gonna hold on to that one. Excuse me. Skull and Bones. EA big. No. Skull and Bones, Ubisoft. They're constantly being delayed pirate game. That's gonna be their first $70 game. So we have 3 publishers starting to charge $70 for joining the $70 squad. Now apparently, and I just heard about this. Shit, wrong one. Heard about this yesterday. Oh god. That apparently Skyrim Anniversary Edition for the Switch is $70. Like, and I think that's the first Bethesda game to be $70. Yeah, but also it's fucking Skyrim. It's Skyrim. The game came out in November of 2011, if I'm not mistaken. It's an almost 11-year-old game that they're charging $70 for, and the only difference between the Anniversary Edition and the Special Edition that came out beforehand was that this one has some like mod shit in it, and yeah, fishing right there, it says fishing. Also, I don't think that the Anniversary Edition I'm gonna check Steam. I'm gonna check how much it costs on Steam to get this. $50. $50. And let's check Skyrim Anniversary Edition Xbox. Sure. Oh, fuck, they're gonna try and push that Game Pass shit. $50, but somehow it's $70 on the Switch, and we can all probably expect that it's not gonna look as good. Keep in mind it's a fucking ancient game, and it's probably not gonna run as well. Keep in mind that it's an ancient game, but somehow it's charged $70 on the Switch. The thing is that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but that's the thing that's happening. So there's that. That's my whole shtick. Now the argument can obviously be made. The argument can obviously be made about what's the word I'm looking for? About that technically games are cheaper, and we talked about this in another stream. So I'm gonna try and keep this talking point as short as possible. We can talk about games technically are cheaper now than they ever were when you adjust for inflation. You can also make the argument of people's pay has not been adjusted to accommodate for inflation as well. But fact of the matter is games for the most part aren't just the entry aren't just the entry fee, right? Like the $60 you spend to get a game isn't the only thing that you spend on that game. It's usually $60 plus the DLC. I'm gonna keep this super short because we talked about this at length in the last stream. But just to get through that real quick, most of these games that, like, if I wouldn't be surprised if the Gotham Knights game has some microtransactions in it. We all know Modern Warfare 2 gonna have, you know, probably a fucking battle pass. God of War, probably safe. That'll be safe. This, I have no clue. Everything else, I fucking don't know. But inflate these nuts. Games are 50 beans. Yo, me and the boys at 2 a.m. trying to find some beans. But yeah, that's the whole thing, is that games are not just the entry fee anymore. Granted, back in the day, there were still expansions for games, the PC games, but you get what I mean. I am going to move on from that. Nonetheless, $70 games, are they here to stay? Yes, of course they are. And more publishers are kind of jumping on that $70 bandwagon. Still not. I don't think the adoption rate is as quick as it was for $60 though. Definitely for sure. Like I don't think it's been as quick as $60 as the price from 50 to 60. All right, so the last big news thing for the week, and probably the juiciest one, Stadia is shutting down. Stadia is going the way of the dinosaur. Let me zoom in here. So this one, apparently, I think The Verge broke this or some shit. But, yeah, Stadia is no more. And what killed Stadia? Stadia. Adoption rate was, compared to the $70 or the $60 jump. Like, I know there was a holdout for $60, but that lasted almost no time at all. But yeah, Stadia shutting down, and what killed Stadia? Stadia killed Stadia, really. So I was trying to keep track of everything. All the issues with Stadia. So let me go through the gist of it. Stadia shutting down in January. January 18th of next year. So in what, 4 months, 3 months. Welcome, Chad. What up? Welcome in. So yeah, Stadia shutting down in like 3 months, 4 months. Obviously Stadia was like the meme when it came out. What's up? Stadia was the meme when it came out. So that's not surprising. It's kind of a shame. I mean, I think Google has a track record for kind of just like shooting their creations in the back of the head if they don't work out very well. I think it was Google Lens. Google Lens was the glasses shit, right? That pretty much stopped. Google, at least from personal experience, I can speak about Google Play Music. Fucking Google Play Music went the way of the dinosaur to get turned into YouTube Music, but that's a different story. And I'm sure other people know of Google Glass. Thank you. Might come back. It's in hiatus. Yeah, in the same way that the Kinect does, man. Fun fact, if you didn't know, the Microsoft Kinect, you know, that fucking motion control thing that was the big gimmick during the early 2010s, is still alive and strong. Just in case you didn't know, it's alive and strong, and it's just for professional application. I mean, fun fact, the application that people use it for now, actually pretty cool. It's a lot of accessibility stuff, and I think people use it. It's some sort of development tool also. Like pretty much, if you want to get a Kinect now, it's just a developer's kit, or some kind of like developer's kit or something. It's a you know, professional thing, but it's actually a thing. If you get what I mean. Or it's still going on. It's not like Kinect died in the gaming space, but it's still going strong in the business space. Yeah, augmented reality. Yep. I should know this. I used to fucking work with them. But so Stadia shut down. Or Stadia is shutting down, and apparently, from what I can gather, they worked out. Holy shit! I've been listening to this for 30 fucking minutes, bro. Yo, what the hell? Oh no. That's an actual video. Give me a sec. Oh my god. I need music. I need music. Yo, Gran Turismo, save me. Sorry, give me a sec. Boom. Okay, cool. Safe bet. So from what I heard, apparently a lot of the kinks with Stadia were worked out over time. What was that sound, bro? I don't know. I make a lot of sounds, and it's things that happen. The things that I cut out when I edit my videos. Apparently they worked out a lot of the kinks, and it was pretty smooth. However, you know, you only get one chance to make a first impression, so too little, too late in that case, obviously. On the flip side, as you can see right here, they are apparently refunding all the hardware and software purchases that were made, specifically that were made through the Google Play Store or the Google Store. So if you got it from a third party like Best Buy, assuming they sold that shit, I have no idea. Then you're asked out on that. But at least, you know, a channel I like to watch is Accursed Farms. I don't know if anybody else watches that, but one thing he likes to talk about is like dead game news. So you know, as time goes on, the push towards live service games becomes more and more and more. You know, games that require a constant online connectivity just to fucking play them, even if you're not playing with anyone, which is bullshit, but whatever. And the whole catch with those games is that naturally over time people will not be playing the games as much, and eventually the servers will be shut down, and then the game is just a paperweight, like whether it be a digital paperweight or you have the disc and it's an actual paperweight. So it's usually you're just kind of like told to go fuck yourself when that happens, as opposed to this where they're shutting it down. You won't be able to play it or do anything with it anymore, but on the flip side, you're getting your money back. When live service games get shut down, that's just not a thing that happens. Like, it's just a cool, now you know that software you purchase is dead. It's dead. And apparently I highly recommend a video that dude put out called, I think, Games as a Service is Fraud. The guy goes like super duper in depth with his argument, and it's a good watch. It's long as fuck, but it's good. I'll probably like throw that in the description after this is over. Nonetheless, they'll be refunding any purchases made through the Google Store. I think we can all point to the things that, you know, where Stadia killed Stadia, and it's pretty much just all the bad shit that happened at the launch. So I'm 100% going off memory. I didn't really look up any articles from the time, but if I remember correctly, the issues with Stadia at launch were the confusing business model, and I think that remained. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, you pay for the service, and then after you've paid for the service, then you still have to pay for the games, and it's not even like you pay, you know, like, hey, I want to play Destiny, so it's $10 or something. It's like, no, you still have to pay the full $60 for the game after paying the fee for the service. So that made it kind of, it was a confusing business model, but it was also incredibly off-putting, because, you know, it's like, hey, if I want to play Destiny 2 or some shit, I could go buy it on a console that I already have and play it, and it works fine. Or I could get it for Stadia, pay for the service, pay for the game, and depending on how my internet is, it will be fucking terrible or actually playable. Like, it's a crapshoot. Hey, yo, you should listen to Goofy Funk. Gorsh. Is that you mean that kind of goofy? It's just for the most part, I will check it out. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but anyway, it's a song. Is it like Goofy? Like Goofy? I'll check that out after we're done talking about this. For like a few seconds. I don't know if some things are copyright or not, but yeah. You need the most expensive Chrome thingy. Oh, the Chromecast, right? You need to get the Chromecast. Yeah, so that was like the intro, the entry, which was like, you buy the controller, you buy the Chromecast, you buy the Surface, Goofy. Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. So yeah, you needed the controller, the Chromecast, the Surface, and then you buy the games at full price, and it doesn't work properly. But like, that was the experience for a lot of people. Once again, as time went on, apparently that got way more smooth, and it was probably one of the more seamless experiences with cloud gaming, because I don't know if anybody's played xCloud, right? That's a Microsoft one. It's cool. It's nice playing shit on your phone. It's not perfect. I don't know if anybody's tried the PlayStation Now. Before that was called PlayStation Plus Premium. PlayStation Now was a steaming pile of dog shit, and everything on it was practically unplayable. That's that. Now the PlayStation Plus Premium bit, it works a lot better. Is definitely still not seamless, because you have to stream if you want to play PS3 games, because we all know Sony made the PS3 like a bunch of fucking maroons. Nothing. I mean, now apparently an emulator is working on PC, but I assume there has to be some sort of cache too. I haven't looked it up yet, but still, nothing. They can't. They somehow. Yeah. Like, it's. I would probably bump it down to just like a straight 7. I hate that you keep giving things decimal points, but I would. It's good, but it's not quite there yet. And the problem is that, like, somehow Sony cannot emulate their own console hardware, so you have to stream all PS3 games. Excuse me. If you any PS3 games that you can play through the subscription, they're not, you know, or they you can't download them. You have to stream them. Having played some of them through that is not the most seamless experience, and on top of that, I still have my PS3, and so as an example, I downloaded Resistance 3 on or not downloaded. I have the fucking disc, so I popped it into my PS3, and then at the same time I had Resistance 3 running through the streaming. Yeah, it's still not. It's still not there, because sometimes you might play a game and you might go, I wonder if this is a game like that just plays this kind of delayed, feels this sluggish. Like recently I played through Killzone 2, like throughout the week I played through Killzone 2 again, which boy has it been a while. But that game inherently is weighty. I think that's like the nice word that people use to describe that. It's weighty, and everything feels really fucking delayed, and when you try shooting anything, it's really annoying, but somehow I still love it. And it's if you never played it and you somehow can, you should, because for some odd reason, the really strong thing with Killzone 2 is that it's really fucking immersive. It's really immersive. The whole, like, the weightiness of everything, the fact that when you take cover, it doesn't zoom out, because a lot of first-person shooters that did cover, especially at the time, would take you out of the first-person perspective for obvious reasons. Lets you, be more aware of your surroundings. But that game, it all stays in first person, and I played through it with the HUD off, and it was really nice. And for a game that's 13 years old, I think, still holds up really well. Nonetheless, that whole delay thing, I had to be convinced, or I had to verify whether or not that was the game or the streaming service. And having been able to compare actual, like, Resistance 3 running on the PS3 as opposed to Resistance 3 running on the PlayStation streaming thing, 100% the streaming was delayed. And I have gigabit internet. It works pretty good, just saying, works pretty goddamn good. So I'm gonna blame Sony on that one. 8.93 out of 9.63. I mean, you can remember, man, the video I uploaded to when I did my Tales of Arise review video, I gave it a Michael out of Jordan, so there's that. RPC S3 emulator is very functional these days. So do you need, I think I asked you this before, obviously off stream, but like, do you need the game to actually play it? Because I remember that was a thing. Like you actually needed the physical game to play it. No, yeah, whatever. Like Sony doesn't fucking sell those games anymore. They have no interest in it. Whew. You need ROMs. Now, how easy is it to get the ROMs is the question. I mean, I still have the original hardware, so that's fine for me. But anyway, other issues with Stadia at launch. I remember there was the connection was the big one. I remember it giving, I forgot who did it, if it was like Polygon or The Verge, but there was that one video where the guy was playing Destiny 2 and he was showing the delay between him moving hitting the stick and then the camera moving. And it was like a second or two. It was fucking bad. If you have a friend who knows, it's super okay. Wink, 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 wink. It's like, fuck, man, I really want to play Resistance 1, but you can't get Resistance 1 through the PlayStation Store. How else would I be able to get it? But yeah, there was that classic video, so that whole, I don't think Stadia could ever shake that stigma of it having like poo-poo doo-doo connection. Caca poopy. And lastly, the one I remember was that the lineup of games was not big. I think the big, like, what I say, flagship, or like the big, hey man, we got games that came out with Stadia were Destiny 2 and Borderlands 3? That was off the top of my head. But they didn't have any crazy like Stadia exclusive stuff. I think they wound up having some of their own studio, but that got closed. That got shut down fucking fast. Like they wasted no time killing that. So I think, I mean, all in all, I think the sentiment has been like, LOL, Google doing Google. Like that's nothing surprising here. Like I think the moment Stadia came out, people kind of just started assuming that it's kind of funny how, these things feed into each other. Like a vicious cycle. But I think when Stadia came out, since it wasn't that great, people already were like, yeah, Google's gonna kill this because Google has a track record for killing things very quickly. And so then people weren't buying it because they were assuming that Google was gonna kill it. And then you can see how that cycle kind of goes on, and here we are. They're actually killing it. So aside from most people not giving a shit because they don't have a Stadia, does give a shit, devs. So this one is from Joe Blackburn on Twitter, who apparently is the director for Destiny 2. Oh wait, that's fucking funny. Oh, that's fucking funny. So he says the developers at Stadia created a development platform that empowered us to continue to create and evaluate Destiny 2 from home over the past few years. I'm sure today is rough for a lot of folks. Thanks for helping us make games. Oh, cool. You got one. So, well, all right. Okay. It actually, Doom, yeah, 2016. It actually lasted longer than I thought. Yeah, I don't know. I thought, part of me like does want to see this go, but then there's a whole thing of like, I still like to own my games. And if you're in a situation like this where you get things through a streaming service, you don't own it. If they shut down the servers, like it's not yours or you can't play it. So that sucks. I mean, they're refunding people, so that's cool, but you get what I mean. I remember when I first got Stadia and got Doom 2016, I was excited to see what they had because my computer is a potato and found myself pretty disappointed from the game selection. Okay, yeah. So Doom, all right, cool. Like I didn't know. It's like, I don't know. I didn't remember the whole lineup. I was going 100% off of memory when I wrote down my notes. Obviously I could have looked it up, but I'm lazy. So here we are. Now, was it better or worse than I don't know if you played Doom 2016 on the Switch, but on the Switch, it runs stable. Like, the frame rate's stable. So they did a surprisingly good job with that. The resolution is not. And trying to play Doom at 30 frames per second is just like, I couldn't shake it. Like I couldn't fucking shake it. That kind of killed me. But really the biggest problem with playing Doom on the Switch was the fucking Joy-Cons. You need an actual controller to do that. That sucks though. That sucks. Actually first got Doom 2016 on the Switch. So okay, so that was your first experience and it was okay, cool. No, like I first got it on PC and then I think I have it for almost every single platform because I love it so much. But having gone from like 144 frames per second to 30 was pretty hard. It was pretty rough. Still fun though. At the end, it just takes a lot of getting used to. And just in my opinion, trying to play any first-person shooter or shooter on the Switch with Joy-Cons is, to me, fucking impossible just because the sticks are so tiny. And since the Joy-Cons are like a flat plane, I'll use this as an example. So, you know, like the controller is arched, right? Or I don't know, fucking contoured. So naturally, when you rest your hands on the, you know, the shoulder buttons, it's natural. It's natural as opposed to the Switch where on the Joy-Cons it's a flat plane and the buttons are tiny, obviously to accommodate for it being portable. I understand. But when you're trying to do like quick things on the Joy-Cons with shooting and aiming, not the smoothest experience. I wound up getting one of those like hoary, you know, like the fat things that are actually like controller. They're very good, but not easy for travel. I like using motion control. Did Doom have motion controls? I don't remember. Oh my god, don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. I'm gonna get my hand off of that. The Doom had... no, it did not, right? Also, what do you mean motion controls? In what context? I'm confused. I'm confuzzled by that. Also, so yeah, devs aren't happy about it. And the big one was, just to go over this real quick, and then we'll just shoot the shit. This dude, Mike Rose, apparently runs, or is the head of a company called No More Robots, right? He has it here. Yeah, No More Robots. Oh, Splatoon has motion controls? Like, you mean Splatoon? Or Splatoon 3? I'm still saying they missed an opportunity when they called Splatoon 2 Splatoon 2 on the cover and not Splatoon. Just saying. But yeah, that's a big one there. So we have a game coming to Stadia in November. Who wants to guess that Google refused to pay us the money that they owe us for it? So and apparently they haven't heard anything about it. Though I haven't checked his Twitter recently. I'm wondering if he posted an update. Nah. Nope. Yep. So apparently they had a deal to bring a game to Stadia and they're kind of left in the dark about it. Who knows? Or maybe he hasn't posted an update because that's usually how these things go. I think all in all, it's a shame. But also I guess the writing was on the wall. And once again, you know, hopefully Splone. Yeah, Splone. Splatoon, yeah. All three, I believe, had it. Wait, oh wait, the Wiimote was on the Wii U. Really? Well, wow. Yeah, I mean, Splatoon, Splathreen rolls off the tongue. Just saying, they missed a brilliant marketing opportunity. You ruined it. You fucked it up. But whatever, moving on. Also, you know, Nintendo's internet is held together by fucking sticks and hopes and dreams and thoughts and prayers or whatever, so this shit doesn't work properly. Alright. This Goofy song better not be copyrighted, or... I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out. That's a big fear on YouTube. Okay, let's experience this together. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Funk? Is that it? Oh my god. Okay. Alright, I actually saw this. I think I saw this on TikTok. Oh. Okay. That's a meme song if I've ever heard one. Okay. All right. Just for the fear of the I've somehow managed to live my life on YouTube for the past 7 months without any sort of content ID issues. That is a yeah, certified hood classic, as the Halo announcer said. Holy shit. I've seen that on, like, just kind of scrolling through TikTok. I definitely have seen shit like that before, where it's just like the sound effects, like they have the ye olden bonk from like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. There are other ones where they have like the I put this in one of my videos. Mud and spit sour plate. Wait, what? I don't. I had this in one of my videos. It was one of the Zelda ones when the fat guy, when one of the I forgot the name, the Godskin Noble or whatever is rolling, and it's just like the yabba dabba doo fucking when the Flintstones start driving their car and their feet are you know, like I can't fucking do it properly, but you get what I mean. I love that. I love those sound effects, man. I appreciate that in some memes, those sound effects are coming back because they're funny. They're fucking funny. Where, yo, where, wait, what? Yo, where fist? Sorry, I can't make out what that last one is. It looks like a long car. Fist long car? That's not my name, bro. What the fuck? Come on, man. God. So, let me go. I think I'm done talking about that shit. Man, I need that thing to I need my Xbox controller to control the cameras, man. That shit is too. That's living in the year 3022. There we go. That's the year that we're currently in. Well, no, it's 1,000 years before. Whatever. You get what I mean. So, it's a limo, the Fist limo. That sounds like the competitor to the Bang Bus, except significantly more grotesque, I guess. Some things you regret saying, some things you don't. That I half regret that one. So yep, how's everybody doing? You know, just shoot the shit before we wrap things up here. Any like sick games anybody's been playing? I've been playing I played through the Link's Awakening remaster. Yo, this is a talk. Remasters, remakes, and reboots, and why I hate the naming. That's like a future video idea, but just to briefly speak about it. Chrono Trigger's lit. Yeah, Chrono Trigger. I never played it, but yeah, that's from what I hear. It's one of the greatest of all time. As opposed to just being one of the games of all time, it is one of the greatest of all time. What up, Dino? Welcome in. Valheim? Oh, I need it. It's on Game Pass, so I'm definitely going to check it out. That's on the list, bro. The list. Speaking of the list, I need to order my food right now because I'm hungry as fuck. So give me I'm going to keep talking here because I'm going to multitask, even though anybody who says they're good at multitasking is full of shit. Boom, you. Come on, open up. Is it on Stadia? I don't think so. I don't think so, and it might be a little late on that one. Fuck, I knew what I wanted to get. Shit. There we go. Cool. Brain. Well, multitasking is a myth. It is a myth. So reboots and remasters. So what will we consider? I don't know. assuming that everyone here has seen the Link's Awakening for the Switch, will we consider that to be a remake or a remaster? It's definitely not a reboot. Will we consider that to be a remake or a remaster? And why is it a remaster? Why can it only be a remaster? Because it's not a remake. I'm just saying it's not a remake. Because when I think of remakes, I think about something like Final Fantasy VII remaster. Yeah, that's right. I think of like Final Fantasy VII. I think of the Resident Evil remakes, right? What's another big one? Oh shit. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. Those are the big ones that come to mind. I'm just gonna leave it at that before I just stay in here fucking looking into the unknown, trying to think of what other remakes there are. Nonetheless, Demon Souls, I'm just gonna say is a remaster, not a remake. Even though people call it a remake, they're wrong. They're wrong. Demon Souls, games like Link's Awakening and Demon Souls are a gigantic... Shadow of the Colossus is the same example, right? The Crash Bandicoot games, Crash Team Racing. They're the same game in every way except the visuals. Like, Link's Awakening is still the same shit that was on the Game Boy, except now it looks way nicer and is like fucking adorable, yo. But still, it's the same game in every way except for visuals. Demon Souls is the same shit. It's the only difference is that now you can get the penetrator armor. That's it. But Demon Souls is the same game, level design, bosses, fucking enemy, everything is exactly the same as it was on the original version, except the visuals and animations. They definitely mess with animations. Sorry, I should say production value, like the production side of things. The visuals, animations, sound, all that kind of shit, and there's penetrator armor. Those are new stuff, but otherwise it's the same exact game, as opposed to something like the Resident Evil remake, where it follows the same beats as the original one does. It follows it's in the same locations as the original one was, as far as I know, because keep in mind that I hate the original ones, but that's besides the point. But the gameplay, aside from the visuals, the gameplay is different. It's kind of told in a different way, but it's still the same. At its heart, it's the same thing, but there's a lot changed. So that's what I see as a remake. Something like Final Fantasy VII, even though I'm not going to get into the story of that game, but still, the Final Fantasy VII remake... Fuck, it's hard to... trying to think of how to describe this. The Final Fantasy VII remake follows the same beats as the original if it wasn't done by the Kingdom Hearts guy. That's just besides the point. But still, it's like a reimagining of Final Fantasy VII. Aside from the story beats, I'm not getting into that shit. But just leaving it at that. That's a remake. Then we look at something like the recent Saints Row game that came out. Saints Row, kind of starting from scratch again. It's a piece of shit. That's whatever. But that's a reboot, right? Something like, it's not telling the same story that the previous games did. It's just using the same kind of some of the same. It's using the Saints. That's it. It's using the same, staying in the same universe, I guess. DMC Devil May Cry. That's a reboot. It's Devil May Cry in the sense that it's an action game. There's Dante, there's Virgil. That's it. Oh, Mundus. But it's completely told in a different way. It's a different everything. That's a reboot. But a remaster is just the original, but looks way nicer. And I hate the reason why I'm talking about this so much is just that it gets confusing, and then you have different levels of remasters. You have some that are like, I fucking made a video about a Dark Souls remaster. It's a lazy piece of shit. Where it looks almost exactly the same as the original, except like slightly better visuals, and now the multiplayer works properly. That's it. So Link's Awakening is a remaster. That's my spiel. You know, feel free to argue with this all you want, but that's gonna be my TED Talk. Aside from that, played through Link's Awakening, pretty good. I started to start up Torchlight 2. It's a Diablo clone, or it's a Diablo-like game, except it's, I don't know how to put it, but you can fuck yourself in that game, and I hate it. You cannot respec your character. Like, if you put your points in the wrong things, which is definitely a thing that you can do in that game, then when you go to try and respec, it only lets you respec the last 3 points you used in skills, and when it comes to the points you put into your stats, you can't change that at all. And I was like, fuck. Apparently I've been doing it wrong. Because, you know, I hit the wall, and that's kind of killed my motivation to play that. Aside from that, I think Link's Awakening was really the big one that I played. Back on Bayonetta and God of War. You know, gotta get in the mood for these upcoming games. Bayonetta 3 is like coming out at the end of the month, or well, sorry, the end of next month, and then God of War Ragnarok's coming out too. Fucking Skyrim Switch is a remake. You're wrong. You're wrong. It's a remaster, bro. It's not even a remaster. It's just a fucking. It's Skyrim. It's not even a remake. You can fish. That's one little thing. It's not foundationally changing the game. It's not changing it up. Like, it's just such a small thing that's added to the game that I'm sure, like, it doesn't even change anything about it. It's also functionally the same fucking game. It's the same goddamn game. You couldn't even, like, I would shudder to the thought of even calling it, or at the thought of even calling it a remaster, because this shit still looks practically the same as it did originally. Like, the way to make Skyrim actually look good, you have to mod the ever-living shit out of it on PC, but it's... oh god, fucking Skyrim. How is it $70, man? Anyway. Yeah, Bayonetta, God of War. Super excited for those coming out. Yo, the Mario and Rabbit fishing mod equals revenue. Can't wait for it. Oh my god, yo. I can't wait for Skyrim in space, man. That's gonna be the Starfield. No, but I mean, they actually send Skyrim to the moon or some shit. You know, like they put it on a ship. You know how like Pepsi and Coca-Cola were trying to get their sodas into space, that kind of thing. It's like Skyrim, but in space. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that game's still going on. It's madness, bro. It's fucking madness. I tell you what, boy, that game is fucking madness. Oh, please get here. I'm starving. All right. I think Skyrim remake, remaster, oh god, yo, it's too much. It's too much. Skyrim remake, remaster, special edition, Switch compatible disc, CD, VHS, better lighting, story, boarding, waterboarding, 20K, 20 FPS. Actually, that part's actually true. Space landing, Xboxing with Mike Tyson playing with stations, Bethesda's nuts. Kid tested, mother approved. I agree. I added that last part in, I hope you know. Skyrim on VHS though? Yeah, man, they do Skyrim with like they did a Bloodborne demake. Why don't they just do a Skyrim demake where the game looks like it ran on a fucking PS1? Just saying. Just saying. They do those you do Skyrim, but it's Skyrim with what's that fucking you got a VHS filter on it. It's like an 80s horror slasher movie, you know, that kind of shit. Just saying, the potential's there. The potential's limitless. Please stop re-releasing Skyrim, for the love of God. Please stop. Please stop. Game of the Year edition. Don't forget. PS1 Skyrim VHS Game of the Year edition. Fucking Game of the Decade edition. Game edition. Skyrim. They did? Didn't they? They did? Skyrim Alexa? It is a thing. It is a thing. Yes, it is. Bethesda Game Studios is proud to present Skyrim for Alexa. Yes, that's right. The version of Skyrim you never saw coming has finally arrived on the platform you never asked for. This is their own description on the Amazon website. For the very first time ever, take your rightful place as a dragonborn of legend, in parentheses, again, and explore Skyrim using the power of your own voice, your Thuum. Prepare to quest and explore the dungeons of Skyrim. Master your weapon spells and shouts. Encounter people who constantly need your help. Guard your knees against arrows. Jesus, this is just a meme. Fatally harm mud crabs. Fight dragons. Die. Fight another dragon. Eat sweet rolls. Fusro da. So on and so forth. You get it. It is very much a thing. I guess you talked to like, yo, Alexa, fucking punch the innkeep. Thank God I don't have an Amazon Echo. Otherwise I would have been... I'm sorry, you told me to do what? No, you. Like some shit like that. Okay, so I am starving and my food is almost here, so I don't want to eat on stream. So I'm gonna wrap it up a little early. I mean, 10 minutes, not a big deal. This week put out, fuck, what was the name of it? Smash or Pass Souls-like. I mean, you know, I had to have like the video title. I'm still fucking around with video titles and thumbnails and stuff because you got to feed the beast that is YouTube algorithm and try and figure out what the fuck this world wants from you. Anywho, Smash or Pass Souls-likes is essentially the video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I think it was fun. I had fun doing it. And I think it's a good time. People seem to like it or at least find it funny. Aside from that, next week build guide coming out. Gonna be the last build guide for a while. At least for a bit, probably a month or something. I'm gonna be taking build guides are gonna be less what's the word I'm looking for? Less common going after next week. I'll probably do some. I'll definitely still keep doing it because I still have more ideas, but I also have ideas for other videos about other games I want to start making, and I've been sitting on that for a while. So guess what's happening? That thing. All right. So yeah, thank you so much for stopping, everyone. Hope y'all had a good time. What else? What's any other shit that I need to think about? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping. I hope y'all had a good time. I had a good time. It was chill. Love shooting the shit on a weekly basis with the news and all that kind of stuff. And until next time, don't forget to wipe before you shit.